as Vox had Charlie right where he wanted her. As now, she said he was the strongest sinner. As then, Alistair smirked as Vox was getting closer and closer to her. He was about to touch her, but then something would happen. As in this timeline, Valentina would yell, "Vox, you've been so mean to me!" As Vox would say, "Yeah, well," as then he would start to think back to everything. When Vox was a human, he killed and killed and killed for more power. It all had to be about him. It all had to be about Vox. He was the center of the stage. And when he asked Alistair for help, to make it about someone else, to make it about someone who's, well, not him, he laughed at his face. But the V's, they were there for him, and he was pushing them away. As then Vox said, "Sorry, you're right." Valentina would say, "Shut up, I know." "Wait, what?" "Yeah, sorry." I would say, apologizing. Why do you need them for success? Why do you need him? Because you're weak? Vox would say, "Friends don't make you weak, Alistair, they make you strong. You're the one who's weak." Alistair would say, "Yeah, but what? You heard me. This whole time I've been trying to, become more self-reliant, to prove myself to you. But this obsession's not healthy." Vox would walk away as Alistair would say, "Wait, no, you need to." As he didn't touch Charlie, Charlie would sit there and cry. As Alistair would say, "Well, that backfired." Charlie would say, "What did?" I kind of had a plan there. It didn't really work out." As at least Husk and would be able to get Angel because Valentina wouldn't be there. But when Sir Pinchas showed up, Vox and Valentina would both show. As Vox would say, "I'm sorry, Velvet." Velvet would say, "Damn, wait, what? You apologized? You didn't even get forced to do it." "Yeah, I know. I was a jerk. We should rule heaven together. It shouldn't all just be about me. I'll let you guys have some of the spotlight." Velvet would say, "Thanks, Vox. You may be a D, but you're not that bad." As then they would force Baxter and Nifty out. As Baxter and Nifty were, forced out, it was then time. As the hotel was defeated, Charlie and Emily would begin to cry, as Sarah would begin to call the army. They had no choice. As the cannon got ready to fire, the men got ready to come out, angels ran down, as the demons and angels began to fight. As they began to fight each other, the Seraphins watched, as the exorcist came down with more fury than ever, slaughtering more than ever. However, Vox pulled out a spear and threw one right in its head, killing it, as they all began to fight. As they all continued to fight together, they all continued to push together, and Vox pushed with the V's. He pushed with his friends, and he enjoyed every second of it. Vox would say, "If I die, I'm gonna die with you guys." Valentina would say, "You've really changed, had a hero arc, ironic." "Yeah, I'm not gonna let that a-hole talk to me anymore." Velvet would say, "Where'd you put him?" "Somewhere safe," Vox would say. As then, we cut to Alistair, who was tied up in a basement somewhere, left alone. Vox kept him all around to torture him, to humiliate him, but Alistair humiliated him back. He tortured him far worse than Vox could torture him. So, he gave it up and just put him somewhere, not even caring. Alistair looked down, as Vox didn't care about him anymore. He was left behind in the dirt. He didn't care about becoming stronger in his eyes. He just wanted to do what he wanted. As Alistair would say, "Vox, in the first time in a very long time, I respect you again. Well done." As he laughed, looking down, his only way out is if Vox dies. As then we cut back to Vox and the V's fighting the waves of exorcists. They came down to destroy. They came down to cause destruction. They came down to wipe them out. As Lute flew right towards Vox, she almost struck his throat, pushing him down to the floor. As Vox was distracted for a moment, we thought it was it, but then Valentina would shoot her in the back, causing her to fall down, as Vox would zap her with electricity until she blew up. As Valentina would say, "Hey, good job. Thanks for saving me," Vox would say to Val. As then they kept on fighting, as we cut to Charlie, as she was crying in tears, watching as hell tore itself apart, as her own father was gone, trapped inside a weapon. As she would get Vaggy and try to free him. As then we cut to Vox as he pointed the cannon right towards heaven. Charlie would run out only to see a crowd. an entire crowd of sinners, as they all launched the cannon, blasting it through, as sinners would jump through the walls and invade. As they launched a massive invasion, suddenly a bright light would appear, as Charlie would fall back, as it was none other than Lilith, as she would say, "What is going on here?" Vox would say, "Holy shit, she's back. Damn it. We're finishing your mission after heaven clearly abducted you. Isn't that right?" As everyone would cheer, "Yeah!" As Lilith would say, "Pitiful. Tuh." Lilith would then look onwards and say, "Listen up, everyone. I came here for a reason." Lilith realized that hell was going to win, that heaven was doomed, and she could fight it, maybe convince them to stop. But there'll be more money in this scam. I am back to take my place as leader, to take over heaven. Rule it with the V's. As Lilith would pick up Vox, she would then begin to sing about being a queen, about pretending to be kidnapped by heaven, how Vox freed her, and that together they'll take it over. As Lilith said, "You owe me for kidnapping my dumb husband." Vox would say, "Fine, fine, fine. It's a deal. You want to split it half?" Valentina would say, "What are you doing? Heaven's supposed to be all ours." "Don't worry, it will be. Besides, to truly take power, you have to compromise sometimes. If you rule with an iron fist, you'll eventually be betrayed." Caesar and so many others were killed because they only saw themselves, and I was making the same mistake until now. Lilith would say, "You're a wise man, wiser than my idiot husband," as she laughed. As then the invasion continued, as they bombarded and stretched into heaven, Charlie would see her own mother betray her as she fell to her knees and cried more and more. As Charlie's tears continued to swallow, as her tears continued to build, she ran with Vaggie. As they went to the cannon, as they saw Lucifer, Lucifer would say, "Oh, Charlie, please don't be mad." "Why would I be mad? You've got stuck here. Here, we'll help you, Dad. I promise." As suddenly Lilith would appear and grab them both. As Vaggie and Charlie both looked at Lilith, Charlie would say, "Why are you doing this, Mom?" Lilith would say, "I went to heaven because I wanted to escape from you all. I wanted to live in paradise, live in a utopia. So I gave them information and sold out my people." As Charlie was shocked, as she looked at Lilith with tears in her eyes. "Honestly, Charlie, I wasn't in hell. Where do you think I was? Are you really that dumb?" Vaggie would say, "Don't talk to your daughter like that," as Lilith would slap Vaggie. Charlie would say, "Vaggie." Lilith would then sigh and say, "Honestly, you guys make me sick." As Lucifer would say, "Lilith, please stop this. It's not too late, you know. We could go back. We could." Lilith would say, "Shut up. I did love you, Lucifer. I liked spending time with you, but you were a bumbling oaf that just can't be trusted. I thought you had a great dream, a beautiful dream, but look how everything turned out. You're an idiot." Charlie would say, "Mom, don't," as Charlie and Vaggie would then be tied up by Lilith and dragged away. As Vox would say, "What are you doing? Saving my daughter. They're idiots, but I want them to live." Vox would say, "Fine, fine. Let's just continue onwards." As they continued on with the cannons, the demons jumped into heaven. Sarah and Emily were the last line of defense, as Sarah would pick up Serpent and say, "This is your fault," and throw him into hell. As Emily and Sarah fought back, they would use their angelic powers to try to blast them back. We saw them use like some sort of magic to fix things when the gun got destroyed, so I assume you could use that as a weapon too. As they blast Vox away, Vox would then use vines. He used wires like vines to grab onto heaven, managing to be able to stay as the other overlords jumped up and blast back. As Sarah and Emily fought back with everything they had, it wasn't enough, as they were pushed back and destroyed. As Vox did it, he took over heaven with his friends, with the V's. All because he didn't touch Charlie. All because he stopped listening to Alistair. As he began to laugh, he said, "We did it! We effing did it!" Valentina would say, Yeah, we did." As then Vel would say, "Crap, that was pretty cool. I love you guys." As then they all hugged. As then we cut to Camilla Carmine crying. As Jeshua would say, "Is this what you wanted? This is what you funded." As Camilla Carmine and Jeshua looked at each other, Jeshua would say, "I'm disappointed. I thought you would come to your senses, but I guess not." As he left, she would sigh. As she looked around her, the weapons she built backfired. Everything was destroyed. Heaven was taken over. Hell now rules. As we cut to Alistair, Alistair laid there, tied up, forgotten. Vox didn't even visit him. He just let him be there, let him starve. He didn't care about him anymore. As Alistair's plan to take over backfired, he pushed Vox so much, but eventually, Vox just gave up on him, threw him away. As Alistair would say, well done, well done.